r/NoSleep. Posted by u/mixmastim@111. Don't wear red tonight. I'm sorry. I don't have long to warn you all of what we just unleashed tonight. Before reading any further, if you are wearing any red clothing in southern Arizona, take it off right now. I am serious. If you so much as have a ketchup stain on your pants, there's a chance you'll be ripped limb from limb if it gets to your door. We made a weapon. If you've ever seen one of those cute Boston Dynamics YouTube videos of a bipedal robot lifting a box, we make them look like toys. We were contracted by DARPA to make the next soldier, a metal soulless shell that can be piloted at home with an Xbox controller. To boot, it needed AI, a way to carry out its mission even if we lose connection. It took us 10 years, but we made it. It walks on 2 legs and has 2 arms. Where a wheeled robot or a flying drone can be held back by basic doors or stairs, our weapon can get anywhere a person can get to. It has 5-digit hands that can crush a windpipe as easily as it can operate a smartphone. We even put an artificial voice emulator into it, with basic phrases in 60 languages, so don't let your guard down if you hear "Hello, pizza delivery" from your front door. It is fully armor-plated and impenetrable by small arms. Explosives have been the only way we've seen one decommissioned, and that took 3 rocket-propelled grenades at direct impact. Wireless interference will only block the human operator and will not deactivate the AI, which we've programmed to be as efficient as possible in a war zone. If it is fully loaded with ammunition, it holds about 5,000 rounds of 5.56 NATO. Thanks to using its entire body to help with recoil, it can shoot the wings off a fly at 400 yards at 1,000 revolutions per minute. It doesn't stop when it runs out of ammunition though. I wish I could tell you that you are all safe considering the weapon was unloaded when it activated tonight, but it'd be a goddamn lie. See, our AI knows how to kill a man as efficiently as possible without a gun. Remember those 2 arms it has? Well, they have strength equivalent to roughly 20 adult men. The most consistent way we've figured out how to neutralize a human target is dismemberment. Even if you don't immediately kill the hostile, they don't fight back after you've ripped their arm out off of their torso, or better yet, their head. The only goddamn thing we couldn't figure out is target differentiation. We've tried all kinds of techniques, facial recognition, visual profiles based on clothing and stature, and nothing works, especially since the use case for our weapon is clearing out terrorist cells in highly populated areas. Unfortunately, no one is wearing a damn t-shirt that says, "Kill me, I'm a sex trafficking goon." So we set a placeholder. We thought, hey, why halt testing on our other features while we fine-tune targeting? And here's where we fucked up. We set it to the color red. In controlled lab tests it's not a bad solution. But when it gets turned on during your Christmas party and catches your team by surprise, it only takes one ugly Christmas sweater to begin its carnage. You know what else is red? Blood. Some of us were immediately doomed because of the clothing we wore. But when the blood began to splatter through our function room, all it took was a split second to be marked. Some of us made it to the front door, but our facility went into lockdown before we could make it there. Those of us alive now are in hiding. My last 30 minutes have been punctuated every minute or so with the screams of the weapon's next victim. Once we are all dead, it will consider the building clear, and that's when it comes for you. In hindsight, conquest mode feels like a mistake. Originally we thought that it would allow our prototype to continue its mission if enemy territory expanded further than its original deployment zone. A feature that would have been fine had it been able to tell friendly from foe before activation. But tonight, unfortunately, it means that our 10-year-old murder baby will go from door to door clearing out all enemy hostiles one limb at a time. My time is up. I hear it now outside my door. It will attempt for 1 minute to coax me out with verbal phrases. "Nice try, you fucker, I know you're not door dash." 30 seconds now. I can hear it testing the doorknob. I don't have long. I'm sorry and I deserve this. Remember, don't wear red. The next story of this video. Posted by u/LordB. I fear Christmas magic and gingerbread houses. Christmas sure is a magical time, and every great once in a while something really magical happens. One Christmas night, something magical happened to me. Before you get excited, know this. I never asked for any Christmas magic, and I certainly didn't ask for my gingerbread house and everything living in it to become animated and sing songs on my goddamn kitchen table. My son was certainly excited at 100 tiny gingerbread men bouncing about my kitchen. My wife was sleeping fortunately, but not for long if I couldn't shut up the stupid gingerbread men. So with as little clatter as possible I grabbed up the plasticware and began imprisoning gingerbread people. Fuck whoever gave them little swords and sticks. One of them little bastards was a fucking gingerbread ninja and twice near sliced off my pinky before I got him locked down in the Tupperware. No daddy. Let them play. My son tried to open some of the containers. I had to abandon capturing gingerbread people to put my child to bed. By the time I got back, my wife was in the kitchen and I couldn't see any gingerbread men or hear any Christmas songs. The container that formerly held the ninja also had a small hole cut in it. Shit. I cursed in a whisper. What babe? She asked as she dug through the kitchen junk drawer. Did you smoke all the cigarettes? She was now examining the many Tupperware boxes stuffed full of gingerbread people. Now lifeless, some appear to have suffocated. Please don't open those. Have you seen a ninja one anywhere? I began scouting under the kitchen table and behind cereal boxes. Or a wizard lady? I heard a thump. I looked back and Abby was on the floor fast asleep. A small wizardess stood on the counter grinning and brandishing her wand. I charged toward her and just as I was about to reach the little spellslinger, I got yanked to the ground by a string which had been stealthily looped around my foot by a tiny dessert ninja. The little shit started pegging me in the face with little frosting ninja stars whilst the wizardess summoned up some kind of ginger and cinnamon sandstorm. Between the two, the skin on my face was starting to get pretty raw, bloody and blistered. No longer content to assault my already ailing visage, the tiny ninja started stabbing at my bare feet. Now causing me the greater pain of the two, I started kicking at the ninja and succeeding in kicking him across the floor and under the refrigerator. I broke the string from my foot and smashed the wizardess with my hand. A thick red jelly squished out onto the counter. My hand now stained with jelly, I started toward the fridge. As I pressed my ear to the floor and gazed my eye beneath the refrigerator, I was greeted with multiple lacerations to my cheek. Fed up with being stabbed, slashed and poked, I grabbed a knife of my own and headed back after the small assassin. After several minutes of blindly stabbing beneath the refrigerator and getting nowhere, I resigned to move the fridge and flush him out of his hiding place. As a rose, he leapt from behind a cereal box and slashed my other and faster than you can say, gingerbread man. He skittered across the kitchen and into the living room. I searched high and low and after assuring myself the living room was clear, I crept down the hallway and into the bathroom. Turning on the light and shutting the door, I found a message was written in tiny bloody letters on my mirror. Vengeance. Great. Just fucking great. This is how I died. Murdered by a fucking gingerbread ninja. Determined to have a final stand, I put my back to the door and called out my would-be avenger. Come on, you little fucker. Show yourself. I could hear my son in the hallway now, asking to use the bathroom. You'll have to wait. I replied, feigning calm. Daddy has a problem. I drowned out his complaints and pulled aside the shower curtain. No ninja. Back of the toilet. No ninja. Under the sink also non-ninja. The towel cabinet also lacked a cookie killer. Nothing in the medicine cabinet either, which meant he could only be hiding beneath the bathroom curtain window. Very carefully, I started to pull the curtain aside, but it fell very suddenly on me. I felt a brief but sharp sting on the back of my left hand. Whilst I struggled to remove the curtain, I felt a numbness sweeping over my body and I crashed to the ground like a sack of bricks, smashing my head on the toilet. As I lay, fading, the gingerbread man walked toward my face, strutting proudly at his victory over the tall Grinch that was I. That was his mistake, because just as he drew close I lunged out and chomped down on him with my teeth. I relished the clove jelly as my incisors sank in and ended its stupid magical existence. Several long minutes later, I managed my way back into the hallway and Abigail is tending to a crying, wet child. I don't know what happened, I just passed out, she said. What the hell happened to your face? I said nothing. I had a 1,000-yard stare and I chewed silently on my fallen enemy. I walked over to the gingerbread house and threw it out the window and watched happily as it crashed on the street below and killed the last few inhabitants. Where did you get this? I asked her when I walked back into the kitchen. She stood, staring nervously at a small gingerbread soldier who was aiming a rifle at her. Is that, are you seeing that? She gasped. Well, at least now you won't think I'm crazy when I tell you what happened to my face. I bemoaned. They sing songs, Mama. My boy exclaimed. Daddy doesn't like them. They were freaking me out. This isn't normal. This doesn't happen. I defended my position and then reached toward a large bowl with which to capture the soldier. Bang! A tiny rifle went off and my wife ran screaming from the kitchen, followed by my son. As it attempted to reload, I stabbed it to death with my knife. I walked into the living room and was pleased to find she was barely scratched by the tiny sugar bullet. Where did you get this? We ought to sue. I think we may have been drugged or something. We have got to be tripping right now or something. I was scratching my head trying to make sense of it all. This, she said. The cake place down in the bottoms, right before they closed. The owner died a few nights ago, hit and run. They have no id. I didn't hear anything she said after that. My head went into a kind of fuzz. I've neglected to mention to you reader a fact. A terrible fact. I was in the bottoms a few nights ago hurrying back home after ending a 6-month-long fling with a waitress. That went smoothly, no trouble there. She had begun to feel bad that she was smiling at her husband every day knowing I had just been dicking her an hour before. I was feeling bad because my wife is a good woman and she doesn't deserve to be treated that way. While I was thinking about all of these things and getting a new lease on my marriage and how to keep her from ever finding out, I'll be damned if some senile old fool didn't walk out in front of my car. I hit him full speed, he got smeared across the pavement for nearly 100 feet. Panicked and knowing that my wife would find out my purpose down here this night, I dragged the totally unidentifiable mass of guts and crushed bone off the road and used my spare canister of gasoline to wash the blood from the road and my otherwise undamaged car. Then I drove home and hoped and prayed no one would ever find out. It was an accident, it was dark, he stepped out 2 feet in front of my car. There isn't jack or shit I could have done to prevent hitting that old man. I wasn't drunk or high either. I felt bad, I really did. I was shaken up for days, I still have full-on flashbacks of red mist raining over the hood of my car. He had been a baker, out delivering Christmas cookies door to door for children in the neighborhood, and made a special trip into the bottoms for his own grandchildren. When no cookies were found in the usual spot the next morning, they knew something had happened. They found his motor scooter a short distance from where I had hit him. It broke down, so he started hoofing it, where I was coming just around the bend. His next 5 steps were his last. I have a doctor friend who said it may have been food poisoning of some kind that had caused us to hallucinate, or we might have been exposed to a toxic fungus. My wife asked about, I didn't. I know what really happened. I'll always know.